take down C9 by any means.
EG feels like one of the biggest wild cards in the LCS right now, and I don't mean that in the term where it's sometimes used derogatorily to refer to teams from smaller regions, but I mean it in terms of you don't know what's going to happen. This is a team that is CLG's only win, and this is also a team that then beat Immortals when they were on a hot streak and were looking really good. So Evil Geniuses are really, really just all over the place with how well or how poorly they can perform. If somebody could beat Cloud9, like you said, if Cloud9 aren't properly prepared for this, it could happen. But damn, have they looked like so far above everybody else so far.
Yeah, they have. I mean, Cloud9 has been making pretty short work of most of the teams throughout the LCS season. But, you know, not only did we see EG actually take down Immortals, they also took down FlyQuest, who has 5 wins now too. So they've beat the second place team and the third place team, or tied for second team, whatever you want to call them. Now all that remains is the one that's sitting on top.
Are the Evil Geniuses the hero killers after all?
They're the blue shell.
That's what they could be. Their color is dark blue, but unfortunately, they are going up against a different shade of blue. So we'll see. It's Rumble, Xayah, and Rakan for EG. So solo lane plus the bottom laners locked in. Over on the side of C9, they're going to switch things up a little. Also having the bot lane locked in with the MF Leona combo, very deadly there, as well as picking up the Gragas for the jump.
Yeah, Leona also considered a pretty good matchup, generally into Xayah and Rakan. You can just kind of follow that Xayah through the jump back to the teammate with the Zenith Blade, lock them down, and really set up well for MF, especially post-6. If you can get a good engage onto that Rakan and there is no Aftershock or anything procced, you can get 100 to 0 very easily in a stun into ultimate with the MF ultimate channeling over top. So they're going to have to be very, very careful about that. There's also some powerful engage here coming from the Gragas that has been selected for Blaber. And it is going to be the Olaf ban. Makes sense when you're playing the Gragas. That is one of the worst matchups for Gragas to actually go up against. And then taking out the LeBlanc, which has been Jiizuke's most played pick. He has 3 plays already on it and did have 1 incredible carry performance on it. So trying to limit his ability to pop off.
Evil Geniuses, you got 1 ban left to go. What's it going to be? Timers run out, and Yasuo is the pick. So Yasuo and Kiana both banned out. Olaf, LeBlanc banned out by C9. C9 still has to pick both solo lanes. We'll see which one they want to give that all-important final pick of the draft over to. It looks like it will be Nisqy in mid lane. You mentioned in the last game about how Aatrox is something that a lot of top laners are confident taking into a variety of matchups. Licorine has been popping off as a top laner. I am not surprised to see him being okay. Him saying, okay, skill check this with whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's just not really a lot of matchups that will trash you unless someone is willing to play very aggressive stuff, play a style that is built around them split pushing and dominating a side lane. And most teams, even if an individual is comfortable doing it, most teams are not comfortable with that overall strategy. So we'll see what Kumo wants to bring out. That could be a mid-rumble, you have to remember. So we haven't necessarily seen the top lane pick yet for Kumo.
Now, Jarvan's locked in for the side of EG, and Jarvan especially effective against AD carries that do not have any sort of mobility. Misfortune, if she doesn't have her flash ready, will be stuck in that Cataclysm. There's nothing to save her like a Thresh or a Tahm Kench. And it looks like it's Renekton in the top side to deal with Aatrox, Rumble middle most likely.
Yeah, it should be Rumble mid. It is pretty interesting. You know, I was kind of considering they could go towards something like Galio. We have seen it here and there. J4, Galio, Rumble, Rakan, incredible engage. This is more kind of stable. You do have Renekton to be able to deal with the Aatrox. You can duel up fairly well. I do think it's pretty much a skill matchup, maybe more in Renekton's favor in the early stages. Cassio will be the answer here. So Cassio, you know, it's honestly a pretty tough matchup for Rumble. With the Scrap Shield nerfs that are in now on 10.3, you are going to take the bad end of a lot of these trades. If you do actually get tagged by the Q, Rumble can get the push early on and can get pretty heavy kill pressure, but Cassio is one of those champions that really can deal with you pretty effectively, especially if you're going to take Phase Rush. The ability to kite Rumble and punish if you ever overheat, to chase you down is pretty high, and it is an incredible team fight menace as you get into later stages that is going to make things really complicated for J4, Renekton, and Rakan, who are all incredibly reliant on those dashes, which is shut down by the Miasma.
Plus the Rumble individually, the biggest source of consistent damage, the Flame Spitter, you've got to be facing your opponents to make that do anything. And as soon as you're looking at her, Cassiopeia's got the window to use the ulti, lock them down, and make that go the other way. Cloud9 and EG, the coaches are shaking hands. We're about to work our way onto the Rift here. Cloud9, I said it before, I'll say it again, because they have just seemed on an entirely different level of play from everybody else in the LCS throughout these first 3.5 weeks. It hasn't even been close.
And the exciting part about it is that it's not just this really passive, defensive stuff. You know, they're not always sitting back and saying, okay, we'll outscale you. They are willing to take fights. They are willing to go at you, to skill check you in lane, to skill check you in 2v2s, and to continuously make aggressive plays, having the confidence that they will outplay you, that they will come out on top in those games. And that is resulting in so many of their wins being at or below 30 minutes. They're so much faster than the rest of the league, and they have been damn near perfect so far this split.
Let's see how it goes. Loading into the Rift now, the final game of the week. Evil Geniuses in the blue, Cloud9 in the red. Can C9 complete the undefeated spree with week 4 here, continue going on even further into the midpoint of the split? Halfway through the split is literally just next week. We've already nearly gone through half of it. Time flies in League of Legends.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I feel like these years just fly by when you're doing the LCS.
Well, Cloud9 would love to have the rest of the season go by, still going undefeated. No team in the LCS has ever gone 18-0 through the regular split. People are rumoring and whispering on social media about, could this be the run? It's obviously still very early, but people love to have that kind of hope.
I got a question for you. You know when you're pitching a perfect game, you're not supposed to reference the perfect game, you're not supposed to talk about it?
Yeah.
So does everyone talking about a potential 18-0 jinx it and therefore guarantee that they won't go 18-0?
Well, we can't answer that yet because we have to wait and see.
Yeah,
See,
this is your prediction.
No, well, I'm not an analyst. I don't do predictions. You're the analyst over here. What's your prediction? I'm just here to see how if it happens, it'll be absolutely incredible, and we get to make lots of hype stuff going into whatever next event that we go into. I mean, if you go 18-0, you probably win a split, and then we
get a trailer with some explosions.
Yeah, we're gonna get some Michael Bay tier explosions going into MSI. 18-0. Who else did that? Nobody. Yeah. But Evil Geniuses would love to shut it down right here. Remember, this is the team that, and I really enjoy the attitude they've had because they came in talking about how, hey, we're going to be better than Team Liquid. We're not here to be number 2. This is our goal. And their CEO, Nicole, after last week made a thing, well, we're even with Team Liquid, so we're doing exactly what we said we were going to do. So I enjoyed the taking it in stride, starting off here in the middle of the pack. But to beat Cloud9 would just be an awesome way to end their 4th round.
It really would, and Zven is going to be going for this red to enemy blue. Looking for a little bit of vertical jungling here, going to be able to grab that away. That's pretty cool. Also, we're touching on a couple of the runes here. We can see Nisqy is actually going Conqueror. So this is not the phase rush. It means that he won't have the null shield. He won't have that kind of defensive ability that a lot of players do like in some of these dangerous AP matchups. But it will allow you to, in extended fights, really start to sustain heavily. When you go secondary into domination, you're going for Ravenous, you're going for Taste of Blood, and you combine that with a stacked up Conqueror, the self-healing on Cassio becomes very, very, very powerful. And Rumble can really struggle to actually punch through that if it's well played.
And I like how EG played that jungle invade. They sent Jarvan into the bottom half, and then they brought their top laner down after securing lane priority to stop a potential counter invade from Blaber. So he is behind right now.
Yeah, he's definitely behind. Blaber does actually trigger that vision plant, so they should know that he's down here on this bottom side and could look to make a response or potentially a gank. Svenskeren is actually set up mid lane here. He knows Blaber's on that bot side.
Svenskeren, he does take a lot of damage coming out from Nisqy, but Nisqy is burning incredibly low. It is so dangerous. But Blaber, he makes the play. He needs a little bit more to successfully find this kill. Another barrel will seal the deal. He's taking a swig. He's looking for it, but EG managed to get both of their players out.
Comes Licorice, though.
Licorice is making his way down. Smite came out from Svenskeren. Licorice has made his way in, but now it's going to be a full-blown battle as the TPs are being used. Licorice will be taken down, but that's going to be a 2-for-1. Cloud9 able to make it a double over onto the jungler. Kumo running himself away, almost back to the tier 1 turret. And Cloud9 will claim the fight. Nisqy with the auto attack. C9, 3-1.
What an incredible collapse there. Nisqy teleporting back in, Licorice roaming down from bot lane. But EG, they were not on the same page there. Svenskeren was disengaging. Nisqy flashes the flag and drag, and Svenskeren says, great, all right, that's it, we did it, we got the summoner. Jiizuke is going in. He's overheating. He almost takes him down by himself. If Svenskeren had stayed around with him, Svenskeren had flash. That could have been an easy first blood kill. They were not on the same page. The communication was not there. And as a result, Blaber just continues the chase. He smites for healing. So does Svenskeren. Licorice has made that collapse faster. The Q flash knocks him up. Nisqy arrives with a teleport. Despite the fact that Licorice goes down, it's an easy chase down here for Nisqy, and Cloud9 gets so much more off of a jungle mid mistake from Evil Geniuses.
And I want to go back to what we were saying, because the jungle advantages Svenskeren got for himself, it meant Blaber was out of things to farm at that moment if no ganks happened. That was the state of the game when we said, yeah, he's behind. But when you swoop in, you get 2 kills, and then you get priority over the map to take both Scuttle Crabs, that statement is now completely false. Blaber is feeling real good in this jungle.
Of course he is. He's feeling incredible, and that's going to be one that's so frustrating because you can't necessarily say that what Svenskeren did was wrong or what Jiizuke did was wrong. What was definitively wrong was that they both did different things, right? You know, getting the flash on a flag and drag, spending no summoners, and then walking off and saying, all right, we'll come back and I'll flag and drag and I'll knock him up with my flash and we'll kill him. That's fine. So is, you know, Jiizuke going for the kill and Svenskeren flashing in and securing that and then hoping you can run away from Blaber in a 2v1. But they kind of split the difference and end up really paying for it.
We'll see if EG can recover from that now, as they are about 1,500 gold down after that all played out. Not only was it 3 kills for Cloud9, they all had assist money tagged onto the end, including the first blood.
It's so rough because it's not even just any team, right? You're falling behind against the best team in the league, who is 7-0.
Svenskeren has made his way down into the bottom side, but so has Blaber. The Predator is activated. Zeyzal and Bang take a lot of damage here. Vulcan and Zven backing away. Neither one of them too worse for wear, honestly.
Yeah. Zven didn't really take any of that damage. He was mostly focused on Vulcan, who is able to heal quite a bit of that up, and Blaber just looking to poke them out with that Predator barrel. He's going to be starting up this Dragon. Nisqy has priority. Mind you, Jiizuke based and does not have TP, so you can't really contest this. It would be very much so a one-way trip. And if you try to go over the wall as J4 and get miasma, you can't even flash out.
Yeah.
So that, I think, is why Svenskeren is wisely not going to challenge. You know, the risk-reward there is just too poor.
He will not try to do it, and that means C9 get the Ocean Drake here to start things off with. Feels pretty nice having that in lane. Only 7 minutes into the game, so we'll see how this continues moving forward, if they're able to stack those up very quickly, get an early soul. But right now, the farm across the lanes is looking pretty close, with slight edges going the way of Cloud9.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the most important matchups that is going to be swung by this Ocean is actually the mid lane matchup. You know, I referenced all of the sustain that is in this kit on Cassio, and Rumble does kind of have to wear you down. You can't just run at him necessarily and 100 to 0 very easily. You are going to have to be trying to poke him down, utilizing Comic, utilizing Harpoons, and with the in-combat regen that is actually given to you from Ocean, as well as the early tier that he got because of those fights going bad, well, you can't really attack his mana, you can't really attack his health very effectively, so your only hope at that point is just kind of farming it out or maybe a jungle game.
Bottom side, Zven nearly going to be killed here. EG in the 2v2, almost have the play, but now the junglers have showed up. Critically, Blaber is almost no mana, and he's in a bad spot. Zven makes his way back. He's not retreating fully from this fight here just yet. Nobody's going to die on either side.
Yeah, very close though. And Jiizuke was roaming down, did have Equalizer, but he will back off. Really nice body slam from the disengage there from Blaber to actually prevent the flag and drag stun from connecting. Nisqy just shoving mid lane here, and it would have been a really risky play for Jiizuke to look for, despite the fact that he had ultimate, so it will be another disengage, but Cloud9 extending advantages. You know, they are winning in farm. They do have those early kills in the Dragons, so not feeling like they need to force anything too hard.
Rift Herald is alive right now, and everybody from Cloud9 just got back because of the state of their health and mana bars, and they've immediately run to the top side. You talked about it last game. This is what's in the textbook right now in the meta for professional League of Legends, and Vulcan and Zven have done their homework. They're here, they're ready to go, shove out the top side, and rotate down.
Yep, both teams, though, matching. We can see that both sides have made the move. Zyra Khan moving up here for Bang and Zeyzal, so they are ready to contest if C9 does start it up.
Critically, though, 3 members on EG, only level 5. All 3 of them are very close. Okay, Svenskeren just now hit 6, but Zeyzal and Bang would love to have those ultimates before a team fight.
They'll probably get it here, pushing up. And I do think they want to have the opportunity to contest, because you can actually see on the minimap, it is Renekton running straight up mid lane. But will they be here in time?
Let's see. Evil Geniuses trying to make the defense, buy themselves a little bit more time. Licorice over the wall. He's found his way onto Svenskeren, but Svenskeren's going into the pit now. Cataclysm comes down. There goes your Rumble. Ulti's Zven grabbing the kill onto Svenskeren as now the rest of EG back themselves away. Will this fight go any further? Cloud9 seem to not be interested in chasing it. They got themselves the Herald. They got themselves a kill.
Yep, they got everything they wanted. Neither jungler, I believe, able to actually smite that away. I think it just died to MF's ultimate. I'm not actually 100% sure on that, but Zven going to be able to pick up a kill on Svenskeren and grab the Rift Herald there over on Licorice. So C9 again coming out on top, extending that gold advantage, and this is something that they have been so good at doing. You know, we're seeing globally a lot of teams sitting back and just looking to stack dragons and not necessarily extending an advantage. Maybe they're a couple thousand gold ahead at 10, but then they stay that 20, 25, and they're just looking to win through soul. C9 will attack you, will press for plays, and look to create bigger and bigger advantages. Here it is one more time, as Svenskeren makes the call to go in, going right in on top of Blaber. He gets very, very low, and it does look like it was either an auto from Blaber or the ultimate from Zven that did take that down. Either way, Cloud9 do grab it.
And EG tried to do the Cataclysm into the Equalizer combo, just that team fight soup of making the bucket and pouring all the damage in, but it wasn't quite where they needed it to be in terms of bursting anybody out from C9. You can see those damage meters looking pretty high there, pretty gnarly from the Cloud9 solo laners.
Yeah, I mean, when Cassio can just kind of stand in fire, when you are not the one getting dove on, you know, they look to actually knock down Blaber, I think, to potentially steal it away. They're hoping we kill Blaber, I smite it away, we grab the Rift, great. Unfortunately, when you go for Blaber, you are letting those solo laners free fire, and Cassio will be very frightening if she can connect with that. And while you're locking someone else in with that Cataclysm, you're also locking yourself in to a miasma and making it very easy for Cassio to return damage.
Vulcan is around the corner here, over the wall in the Raptor pit. And Cloud9 may just try to make a dive here if they want. Shelly will take down plenty of money from that mid lane turret. And that's a good use of Rift Herald. They won't get the turret itself just yet, but they've managed to give themselves priority over the bottom side river. And with a 3,000 gold lead, they feel confident in starting up the Infernal Drake. EG walking over. Vulcan's gonna buy some time, start off the fight. MF ulti coming through, damage going down. Into the back line goes EG. The kill onto Zeyzal's gonna start the fight off. Svenskeren taken low, taken out. Cloud9, 2-for-0. Vulcan there on the front line still. Being burned away by Jiizuke, but he can't go in too much further. He has overheated, now finally has the ability to cast the spells again. Low health bars on the Cloud9 bot laners. Blaber still with about 2/3. Jiizuke and Bang doing what they can. Nice flash over the wall! And Jiizuke will kill Zven for the second time this season.
There's the end of that 100 KDA dream, and he got him. Blaber's going back in, though.
Cloud9 looking to grab some revenge, and they've got it. Licorice with a slam over the wall to set Nisqy up to get that kill. Kumo's running away. C9 looking to maybe go further, but they choose against it. They will not get the Drake. They have won the fight, but at what cost?
Yeah, it cost the KDA. Zven hanging around, though, at low HP. Was not trying to be that KDA player. Barely escaped, but Jiizuke rightfully flashing in, getting the shutdown, so that 1-for-1 pretty worthwhile, and they do deny at least the immediate dragon take. EG are back out on the map, but Zven has respawned, and I think Cloud9 are going to head right back to the scene of the crime and try to take that Infernal Dragon.
Let's take another look at how the fight went down here.
Yeah, this engage I think was a lot better. Instead of it being onto Blaber, Vulcan was split up a little bit from the rest of the team. The Cataclysm right on top, then the Charm interrupting Misfortune's ultimate. Zven barely got out of there. He was down to under 100 health. He wants to hang around to potentially help them out. Jiizuke is overheated, but as soon as that expires, he actually spots Zven with the ward. Zven moves back, and he is going to take his opportunity to flash over, get the shutdown on this Misfortune who was separated out. And EG are able to stop the dragon, so well done by them. But it is C9 right back at it, starting it up. They get mid lane prio, and this should be a pretty easy one for them. I don't think that EG really has everything they need to try to contest.
Not when Rumble took barrier and is sitting top lane, clearing out the wave and farming up. You know you're not going to fight for that one. So C9 will take it. And that means we get yet another Mountain Soul this game if either team collects all 4. Infernal and Ocean already under the belt of Cloud9 with a 4,000 gold lead. Still no turrets actually taken this game. We saw Cloud9 drop the Rift Herald in the mid lane. They got it down to about 20% HP, but that's all. So that gold bonus still available for either team.
Yeah, and that could really explode the gold lead here if C9, who is already very far ahead, I mean, they're 4,000 gold ahead. Usually you only see those kind of advantages early on through turret takes, right? You won some fights, you took some turrets, so if they win another fight, it is going to be a very risky one. If EG decide to make a stand at perhaps the next Rift or the next Mountain Dragon, and it goes bad, you could not only lose that, but lose multiple turrets and then be incredibly far behind. So EG is going to really have to pick and choose where they stand and fight.
3-0-3 on Nisqy's Cassiopeia. 6 out of 7 kill participation. Been critical for what the team's doing from start to finish in all these fights. And remember, after the action's all done here on the Rift, it's only just starting for the broadcast. Tune in after for Monday Night League on twitch.tv/BudLight, where Avali's going to be hanging out with some of the players, having a good time. Cracking open a cold one with the boys and talking about the games we saw here this week. It'll be a good time. You don't want to miss that. But back into this game, Gragas is trying to crack open a cold one on EG, but won't quite find the accuracy.
Yep. Rift Herald, though, coming on up. EG is around mid lane, trying to get some priority back here so they can have the option of contesting. C9 very clearly wants to make the move over to the Rift Herald. You can see that Blaber and Licorine were already parked over on that side of the map. They have 5 members here. They have priority. They will make this move. And this should result in their first tower take if they get it, but EG's looking to contest. They feel like they gotta fight for something. Don't want to fall further behind.
I respect EG's drive to not just give away the game, but you gotta be careful. The MF ulti comes out, and now Svenskeren's in the middle of 4. The damage goes through, and it is doing so much. Nisqy's on a rampage. The damage just pours into the EG health bars. Jiizuke is occupying Licorine, and by occupying, I mean dying. He is gone as well. A double kill over to Nisqy, but C9 also lost 2. The fight has gone the way that they wanted so far in terms of the advantage, but can they get even more? Bang trying to flash away, Kumo getting out now as well. With Vulcan not hitting the Zenith Blade, that means Bang survives. C9 win the fight, but it's not perfectly clean. They lose Blaber, they lose Nisqy, and that's some shutdown gold, importantly, in the EG pocket.
And I've got to give a lot of credit to Jiizuke, who, while he was losing that 1v1, had the presence of mind to look over to the team fight to get a good ultimate that allowed the rest of his team to win their fight. So, you know, this was the engage from Vulcan. They decide to make the turn. Licorine is zoning out Jiizuke, does go over on him. Svenskeren flashes in with the knockup onto Nisqy, and then note that equalizer from Jiizuke. He's given his life for the team, but the equalizer is across multiple members. It gets them those 2 kills. Those players from C9 were roasted up by it, so it gave a shot to his teammates to win that fight. Unfortunately for them, they are not able to take it down, and C9 still goes up a member and gets that Rift Herald, which should be an easy cash-in on a turret.
Right, you could drop that in the mid lane very easily. It's within 1 charge's death, or it's within 2 auto attacks death range. So not even sure you would want to spend it on that, considering you can get more value elsewhere.
Yeah, they might want to hold on to it, but it's going to expire fairly soon. So I think we're going to see them probably drop it mid, look to crack that turret, which makes it even harder for EG to have mid lane control. And then you utilize that additional mid lane control that you've gotten to get yourself that 3rd dragon, which is coming up in a minute. So that's kind of what I'm expecting here from C9. We'll see what they decide to go for, though.
Blaber is out on the map, has that Rift Herald ready to go. No stopwatch in his inventory. Importantly, both of the stopwatches in the Cloud9 item selections have been used already. Over on the opposite side, none available either. So that means both teams don't have those get-out-of-jail-free cards once somebody goes into these team fights, which we've seen be very chaotic so far between Cataclysms, Equalizers, Petrifying Gazes. There are so many tools on both sides to just create havoc in these 5v5s.
One of the most concerning things, too, for this game, you know, from the Evil Genius side, is actually where the gold is allocated. Every damage dealer, every main carry on C9 is so far ahead. You have, you know, nearly a 2,000 gold lead in the mid lane. You have plus 1,000 gold in the top lane. Over 1,000 gold in the bottom lane for Zven. That means those carries are going to be significantly ahead in their itemization, but they are catching Nisqy.
Nisqy's been trapped, and remember, he has no flash. The Conqueror's doing a lot of work keeping him healthy, and EG have overextended themselves way too far. Jiizuke tries to take someone with him, but he's going back to the spawn platform alone, and with 2 dead on the side of Evil Geniuses, Geniuses. Cloud9's feeling confident to look for whatever they want. They've got the opportunity to push up mid. Enemy jungler and mid dead now for still another 10 seconds. 20 on Jiizuke means easy turret pickup. No herald required. It's dropped now in the bottom side. Not quite yet. I saw the thing tick down. I thought he swapped back over to his trinket, but it was just the Drake damaging him. I got you baited. I got you baited. They didn't need it for bottom side either.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got a couple of kills, so they're going to have a lot of priority. They can pretty much do whatever they want with it at this point. Will be their third dragon. You see how damn tanky Nisqy can get. He had the Seraph's completion. That was very, very key. Also, all of the healing he has, because he's been in a lot of fights, he should have very likely a fully stacked Ravenous. So it's actually 4 out of 5 stacks already. You know, he has the Conqueror healing coming through, Taste of Blood, and all the healing that is in that kit. Was able to just absorb so much. So this, I think, is a pretty good play. They knew that Flash was down for Nisqy, so the Equalizer comes across. It is placed well. In goes stun. You would think you'd be able to burst him down, but because of that defensive shield, because of all the self-healing, Nisqy withstands it, and Jiizuke really had no way out, so he tries to turn around and get a kill and maybe stop them from getting something more.
I can understand the thought process. Hey, immobile carry, no flash, he's alone, let's go after him.
Yeah.
But the only source of damage that can follow you up is an Equalizer from your mid laner who's 1,500 units away. He's not a Felios. He can't contribute with auto attacks or anything from that range. So you have to be careful and mindful of just how far you want to extend yourself. It costs them a fight that turns into 2 turrets, plus a Drake, plus the kill money. And now Evil Geniuses find themselves really, really far behind. There goes Shelly. That'll take it up to a 7K gold deficit, just shy of 21 minutes.
And I think it's one of those things where sometimes you can lose track of how much you need to actually take someone down when they're this far ahead, right? Because, you know, you wouldn't necessarily always have a completed Seraph at this point in the game. He has the additional levels, which gives him even more health. You know, there's so many things that you have to really be kind of tracking and calculating. And also, almost every single play that they can make from this point is going to be a low percentage play. So you have to pick and choose. You can't just sit back and seed everything, or you will slowly bleed out and lose the game. So EG are going to try to swing for the fences, are going to try to look for those potentially game-winning plays. Get a kill, grab a bounty, maybe swing something around, get a dragon for yourself. So I can respect the effort, but there's not a lot of plays left for them in this game that are going to look very good because you're just so far behind. It's really, really tough unless your opponents make big mistakes.
A 20% play looks really good when everything else is a 10% top.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for EG, that's just about the reality for where they're at in this game. Look at how dark this map is from their point of view. Everything being eclipsed by Cloud9 vision that is now being set up in the top half of the Evil Geniuses jungle. Baron is alive. There is so much sustained damage when you have a Cassiopeia on your team. It's very easy for Cloud9 to take this if EG aren't in a good position. So now they're tasked with this almost impossible job of staying alive while clearing out the Cloud9 vision, and C9 is having none of it.
Exactly, and they also have explosive engage. So if you face check, you know, even as the Recon, you could very easily get your dash interrupted by someone like Blaber flying in with a body slam flash, looking to start up those kind of fights. They have the Leona engage there too, so C9 just moving up, trying to push back the vision further and further and further. You can see, you know, it's kind of this line here all the way across that is going to be trying to encroach further and further into the EG territory. And EG has got to try to keep eyes on the Baron because you know from this disadvantage, if you lose Baron, it's lights out.
Svenskeren level 10 compared to the level 14 Nisqy that he just walked by. That's not something he'll ever be able to engage on with any amount of safety. As Evil Geniuses do get the opportunity to clear out some of those wards, everybody from C9 decided this was a good time to go back to base, restock on control wards, let everybody purchase, get back out onto the map. You can see those wards in the inventory of everybody except for Nisqy. He's not being a team player, but everybody else is going to go.
And the other thing is, there's a lot less risky of an objective that C9 can go for. The Mountain Dragon is spawning in about 120. Baron, still going to do a fair bit of damage to you. You don't have a true tank, right? So maybe, you know, with the damage amp that's coming out from Baron and you get poked down, Rumble does something special. Ground Dragon, not so risky.
Licorice and Kumo passing by each other there, but with backup coming in for Evil Geniuses, Licorice has to head for the hills. All of EG coming to collapse now as Nisqy and Blaber have made their way down to the fight as well. Blaber's able to find a nice cast onto Jiizuke, bring him back. Miasma going to provide the opportunity for the DPS. Vulcan coming in from the side as the bullet time rains down. Cloud9 turn this fight around, and they won't pursue any further. They got what they came for. They've won the fight, Now they're clear out the vision. Now they'll set up for that Drake that you were talking about.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse, though, for EG. They do try the play. They lose one member, but a lot more could have gone down. Nisqy just barely not able to actually connect his Q, get that poison over onto Jiizuke, which would have allowed him actually to chase him down and get that additional kill. And Kumo will be alive when the dragon does spawn, will have teleport, so maybe he can still try to look for something here. Because if you're this far behind and you give up the Mountain Soul, then even the potential picks become more and more difficult with all of that shielding that it is going to throw over towards Cloud9's way.
And the game can be so hard to evaluate in these kinds of situations when you are choosing between those 15% and 20% plays like you talked about earlier. Your choices are between something that's bad and something that's worse because of the state of the game. And I really feel for players in those positions because it's a hard one to get your way out of. There's a reason most of the time when you're 8,000 gold ahead, you can turn that into a win. And C9 now with Mountain Soul are even closer to that enemy nexus.
And it just looks so crazy when you see that Mountain Soul over on a marksman who also has overheal. It starts to become so intimidating to say, okay, well, I've got to take this guy down, but he has 600 in shielding when you start the fight, and I'm behind. So
permanent Jana shield.
Good luck actually, getting that much damage out. And it also refreshes even in combat. As long as you are not being hit, it will actually come back up while you are fighting. So that is something that you also have to worry about in these potential fights.
Svenskeren still only level 10 on this Jarvan, the same level as the supports in the game. His inventory, he has a stopwatch so he can stay alive if he goes in and creates that Cataclysm. But the only completed item he has is a Cinderhulk. You look across the board, you compare that to the items in the inventory of Blaber. Fully completed Zhonya's Hourglass. He's got the Runic Echoes, working on the next item now as well. Very scary. As the Miasma goes down, fortunately for Svenskeren, he's able to use the EQ combo to get out.
Yeah, that was Vulcan's ultimate, so they were looking for a pick there. Svenskeren quick to get out.
Here comes Zeyzal's ulti now. Vulcan on the front line, but the stone plate means you just cannot initiate on a Leona and get anything there. They went for the Misfortune as well, but weren't quite able to find it. And with that big Rakan ulti down, C9 are now very aware that EG's engage is lackluster at best.
Yep, without that, and 3 pink wards in the area, it's so scary for AG to try to look for something. Kumo's not even with them, so I honestly think C9 could just start it up. It's pretty low risk when you do have that Cassio, but they have lost control of mid lane. So C9 is going to just try to look to clean this up. They don't want to take any potential 50-50. Zeyzal, he should be fine.
Yeah, he's got the Blast Cone right next to him. Kumo, however, does not have a Blast Cone. Svenskeren has found his way onto Blaber, who drops the cask. He's using the stasis. He has no flash to get away. He's taken down. Nice shot from Jiizuke, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 so far, make it a 1-for-2. Kumo and Svenskeren are both gone. Licorine fighting 1v2 in the back line, does not even seem to care. Why would he? Equalizer dropped. All that's going to do is farm up a couple wolves, and C9 are just getting away with murder here.
Yeah, they're so far ahead. That Death Dance getting so much work done for Licorine. When you're up levels, when you're up gold, the life steal becomes so difficult to actually deal with there. The Baron is going to be going Cloud9's way. And I think we're going to see the game end during this Baron. They are so strong right now and have just been dominating this game.
Ooh, the ulti from Vulcan almost catching Bang out. Flashing away means he'll survive, but that's a critical summoner spell to not have available for what is likely your game defense. If this doesn't work, Cloud9 can run it all the way down mid. Let's take another look at how this fight started with Licorine and Kumo.
Yep, Licorine gets jumped on by multiple members. Blaber comes around, and EG sees an opportunity. And this is a good opportunity to go for. They do get the initial kill. It is a 1-for-1 though, as Licorine has chased someone down, but he's still full health. And he's so damn tanky with that Death Dance. All the CDR he has, he's healing right back up. The Q into 2 autos, see, like every auto is over 100 in healing, right? You just can't punch through that. So he's able to buy enough time for the rest of the members to get over there and help to take down Jiizuke.
Gargoyle's Stone Plate finally completed onto Svenskeren, so he'll be a little bit tankier now when he jumps into these fights. Might be able to survive in his own Cataclysm. You can see Executioner's calling on Kumo, so he's got the ability to try to stop some of that healing if he's ever fighting the Aatrox, but there's just so many things to have to account for when you're up against a team that's 11,000 gold ahead of you. Nisqy and Zven putting in the DPS onto the turret to take it down. And it's Cloud9 who have now made their way onto the base of Evil Geniuses. 2 different lanes now being pressured at the inhibitor turrets. Zven will step up, throw some auto attacks through there.
All you can really do is, if you're EG, you go for the Hail Mary. You have to hard engage on one side or the other, because if you sit back, you're just going to lose your base, and it's going to be over before you even fight. So they are going to try to engage on the bot side.
There it is. Vulcan and Blaber on the front line, and Zven unleashes the bullet time. There's your Cataclysm into the back, but it's not going to do a whole lot of anything. Svenskeren is done so, and Kumo's going to follow shortly thereafter. Stasis keeps Zven alive. Cloud9 have all the tools they need to win this fight, and Licorine is taking it even further. Vulcan leading the charge, looking for the damage onto Bang. No flash, no dice. You're out of there, and that means inhibitor number 1 is under fire. Number 2 you can take if you want, but it's not really required. Jiizuke can't do anything, Zeyzal can't do anything, and Evil Geniuses will be the 8th team to fall to Cloud9. This team once again showing exactly why they are the standout in the LCS so far. Zven picks up another one onto Vulcan. Jiizuke tries to make one last valiant effort, but it's nothing but a double kill for the enemy AD carry. Svenskeren will try to stand against Nisqy, but the damage is too much. The Nexus, the only thing left to target, and C9 win it 1 second shy of 30 minutes in.
Damn impressive from C9. They are looking very, very good this year. 1 win away from a perfect half split, but they're going to be chasing that 18-0 dream, winning game after game after game. It feels like 30 minutes. That's the mark that they are shooting for almost every single time. And they are just performing really, really well. You know, EG did swing for the fences on some of these plays, did look to try to find ways to battle back into the game, but C9 was ready for it when they went. C9 was always, it felt like, first to the objective, first to prepare, and always very far ahead.
And it all started at the very beginning of the game.